Going on, everybody? It's good to be back in another live stream here on a thirsty Thursday. Hope everyone's doing all right. Tell me if you guys can hear me okay. I'm kind of flying solo here tonight. I'll tell you what, I have never felt more out of touch with technology than when I was trying to set up this stream here by myself about an hour ago. No Tyler tonight. Tyler is actually in Las Vegas. So, last stream he was on here with me, but every other stream up to that point, he's been the one, setting up the camera, setting up the audio, the shot, the angles, the behind the scenes stuff, you name it, all the technical stuff. So, actually tried to use the camera, but I went to set it up. He had it in some black and white mode with the different lens, and I was like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? I got him on the phone, kind of got a few things fixed, but when I got the shot, it was just blurry as hell, and I don't know how to fix it. So we are rolling with the camera on my laptop. So it seems to look all right. Looks a little brighter than I'm used to, but size is a little different. I don't know. It's me. What are you gonna do? You'll notice I got my Tiger shirt on here tonight. Two reasons, really. One, because we advanced to the next stage of the playoffs here. And two, to really just troll my friend Roger Reese, who just happens to be the only Cleveland Guardians fan that I know. So, up, Roger. I will tell you this after watching those three games between the Tigers and the Guardians, that they are both two pretty flawed baseball teams, and we just happen to be slightly less bad today, I suppose. I don't imagine us going much further than the next round, but you know what? We made it, so we're still playing ball. It's October. Great time of year, all that good stuff. So, yeah, so I'm in a pretty good mood about that. Let's say what's up to a few people here in chat. I saw Gary Franchi posted, it looked like it was about 3 hours ago. So Gary, it's good to see you waiting. Sure you've just been hanging out waiting for me to come on here. So cheers. Whiskey knows what's going on, Marty. We've got Randall Erickson. Cheers, Gary and Marty. Been a while since we've been blessed with Tom and Ty's presence. Yeah, unfortunately, just got me tonight, Randall. So we'll make it work somehow. There's me testing Top Jimmy. What's going on, buddy? We got Fritz in the house. What's going on, Fritzy? And there he is, Roger Reese. I'm guessing Roger's probably got a decent sized pour of something. Hopefully it's a good one, Roger. You've got Sugar Kitty in the house. What's going on, Sugar Kitty? Meow. Meow to you, sir. We've got Trey Larkin. What's going on, buddy? Jimmy, Roger Reese. Just seeing if I missed anybody. Dave Vogelsang. What's going on, Dave? How you doing? So as far as what I'm going to be doing here tonight, I don't have giveaways tonight. So there's no wheel. There's no keeping track of the Venmos tonight, again, because it's just me and I can only do so much at one time. I can barely walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. So I won't be doing that. I'm just going to get into some bottles that I got recently and still haven't opened. We actually shot a video last month, and it was like the August bottle haul, because I ended up getting a lot of bottles in the month of August. So we shot a video, Tyler and I, and it didn't come out how we wanted. We had some issues with the audio. So rather than try to kind of, patch it together and make it work, we ended up just kind of scrapping it. So ends up that September, we didn't even put a whole lot out there. So, we've got some things in the can. Hopefully we'll get some more videos out this month. This month's going to be crazy. Like I said, Tyler's in Vegas. And then in 2 weeks, we are both headed down to Bardstown. So looking forward to that. And speaking of Bardstown, there's Jason from the Mash and Drum. We were going to the Mash and Journey event. And as I understand it, there are still some more tickets available. So check out any of the socials where you'll see Jason or the Mash and Journey whiskey club. And if you're on the fence, I'll tell you what, it's the best whiskey event I've ever been to. I know some of the people in the chat here I met last year. I know a few more are going to be heading down this year to meet with us. So we're looking forward to that. So if you're on the fence, if you're thinking about it, it's a hell of an event. What's going on, Oak and Agave? How you doing? You pouring some bourbon tonight, or you got some tequila? I am about to crack. All right, so first bottle I've got here today is the Traverse City Whiskey Company, and this is their barrel proof peach, which is sort of sequel, I guess. I guess you call it a sequel. They do a barrel proof cherry whiskey for the last like 6 years. And what it is, I found out how they do this. We met with one of the owners, Chris, when I was at Traverse City Whiskey Company last month with Scott from the Mash and Journey. We were doing some picks for Mash and Journey Whiskey Club. So I was talking to Chris, one of the owners, and he says what they do is they don't put the cherries into the bourbon, which I kind of thought was what they were doing. It's not abundantly clear on the label, but that's not what they're doing. What they were doing is actually steeping cherries in a barrel proof bourbon, kind of like tea. And I guess he tried it a few different ways. Try to impart the right amount of cherry flavor in the whiskey. He said he was telling us one year they cut up the cherries and steeped it, and what ended up happening is it released too much water into the bourbon and watered it down to less than 100 proof, which he thought that he couldn't sell a barrel proof cherry bourbon at 98 proof or whatever it was. So they decided to not cut up the fruit, to just steep it. And I think it's kind of a nice combination because it's not overly cherry. I mean, there is subtle cherry, but there are way more cherry forward bourbons out there. And so this is actually the first batch of the peach. And I think it's steeped in Michigan white peaches. And this is batch one. So, and I haven't seen a lot of, posts or reviews. To be honest, I don't think I've seen any. So I have no idea if this is really good or if it sucks or what. It sounds like it would be good. I'm guessing based on my experience with the barrel proof cherry that it's probably a little bit more subtle peach than just like boom, super syrupy peaches. But I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna pour it in just a bit here. This will be the first one that I crack. Some other things here that I've got here on the bar. I've got the new riff. This is the red turkey wheat, which I have seen some reviews on. I think all of them have been really positive. So I'm expecting that this will be something that I do enjoy. I like New Riff. They're one of my favorite distilleries. This will be the first time I've had anything from them that's a wheated whiskey, so I'm excited to try that. So if you have that might be something you want to pour along with me here. Then I've got, for my Michigan fans here, I've got Evernorth Spirit Walker 5, which was released about 6 weeks ago, I think. And this is I want to say this is a PX sherry finish. I'm going to bust out the readers here. Yeah, this is finished in, rye whiskey finished in PX sherry casks, and it comes in at 114 proof. Usually, they'll tell you what type of distillate it is, whether it's from Sagamore or MGP or Cedar Ridge. Don't see that on here. The rye, I think most of the rye they've got is from Sagamore, so maybe it's Sagamore. If you happen to know, Fritzy or somebody else in chat, if you know what type of distillate this is for Spirit Walker 5, let me know. But again, I haven't tried this one. I'll get into it. Sherry flavor, sherry finished rye does sound like it's in my wheelhouse. So again, something that I'm expecting I'll enjoy. And then the last one I'll probably get into tonight is an ASW Fiddler, and this is a single barrel. It's toasted. I think it's a wheated bourbon as well. So a toasted wheated bourbon, if I'm not mistaken. Jeez, I got to bust out the readers again. 6 years, 8 months old. 1.5 months in the toasted barrel, heavy char. Yeah, it is a wheated bourbon. 45% wheat, in fact. So this is a lot of wheat. So that sounds like it would be interesting. Again, don't know what to expect on this one. I think this was in, might have won this in Marty's stream. And it was something that Scott Hawk had donated. So I was able to meet with him and got this hand delivered. So interested to get into that one as well. So kind of 4 interesting whiskeys, I think. How about you guys? What are you guys sipping on here tonight? Let's see. Tickets. There you go. Top Jimmy. Tickets for the Mash and Journey Bardstown Blitz. And that's in 2 weeks. I think it's the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th is when I'll be down there. We'll get in Thursday, probably around this time. Probably meet up with a few people that are getting into town early. And then Friday morning, we meet with some of you guys here in chat that we kind of talked about. And then the event, the Heaven Hill portion of the event, I think is Friday evening from maybe 6 to 9 or so. And then the following day, it's at that new hotel, the Trail Hotel, which looks insane. So that should be fun as well. And then, we'll be running around doing, urban trail type things. Because I'll have my son who's never been down there. My wife who's interested to, see some of the people we met last year. So it should be a good time. I'm looking forward to seeing all you guys down there. Randall's got the ECBP 525. So that's the one out of the 3 this year that sounded like it was the winner, Randall. I think I just watched Jason's review on the C925. Didn't sound all that. Didn't sound like I needed to run out and buy it. It did sound like the B525 was something that would be interesting for me. I stopped kind of buying those Elijah Craig barrel proofs. I've just got too many of them. I really don't finish too many of them, so they're kind of collecting on the bar. So I'm trying to maybe cut down on some of those bottles that I buy and don't really drink. So, ooh, man, that was a good pop. So here we go. Traverse City Whiskey Company Barrel Proof Peach Batch 1. So let's give this a taste, shall we? All right. So I can tell you what's really cool is the labeling here and the peach kind of colored wax. It just for some reason I find that that's something that I want. So marketing, labels that pop, get your attention. This is certainly something that would grab my attention if I was walking, up and down a store and I was checking out the shelves. I don't know if this one actually hits stores. This was something I swung by the distillery and picked up. I know they put some online after they sold them in the distillery. They did like a release, like an event on Saturday. I think it was like August 30th. So we swung by, grabbed the bottle on our way home. Didn't really stay, but I think they put some of these up online. I don't know how well they sold. I'm assuming they probably sold out. It's a 6-year-old, I believe it's MGP, 54.7 alcohol by volume. So what is that? 109.4 proof. So let's give it a rep. Ooh. Yeah, you definitely get some of that peach on the nose. Let's see. I only bought it after Jason's review. Sipping on a Diet Mountain Dew. It's dinner time here. Dinner time. Where are you at, Gary? Are you out of state? Yeah, this is kind of like peach and maybe cola. It's a really nice nose, and it is unique. Caleb's Crossing here, second pour. Randall, Roger, what did you think of that series? I guess one of us had to win, right? Neither of us were particularly good. The bottle looks the color of Moni's face. He's a peach. Well, there you have it. I mean, that's really all that needs to be said. Mm. Yeah, a little peach, a little cinnamon. Some maybe like some apple pie crust. Um, it's got a nice viscous mouthfeel. So the backbone of that 6-year-old MGP, um, it's solid. It does seem to take on that peach infusion pretty well. I think this is good. Have any of you guys had this? Like Fritzy? Let's see. Tom, Spirit Walker 5 is 52% Sagamore, 95.5 MGP. So it's a blend of the two, Josh, like 50-50 or some derivation of that. Sounds interesting. I really love that 52% Sagamore. Second sip, yeah, that is that's quite delicious. I enjoy this. Um, yeah, the finish isn't overly long. It's not overly sweet, but it is on the sweeter end. It is kind of a little bit syrupy on the back of the palate. Not so much at the beginning. Um, Peach, cinnamon, apple pie crust. Yeah, it's delicious. Yes, blended. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So yeah, this is I dig this. I do tend to pick up the cherry, the barrel proof cherry that they put out every year. And that's a great bottle. Um, this year it was 10-year MGP because I guess it was their 10-year anniversary. It's called a Heritage Edition. I think that's what it was, 10-year. So they used 10-year bourbon as the backbone, and it's really good. Yeah, dig that for sure. I'll probably do a review on this one. This is one of the ones that I had flagged. I think people would be interested to know what this is like. Maybe look for it. Maybe look for it next year if it's something that was sold out or pretty limited. But I think that barrel proof cherry does make the rounds online. I don't know if it's Seal Box or one of the other sites, but I know I've seen the cherry available online. Maybe it's through Traverse City Whiskey Company Direct, but yeah, I know I've seen it online. Let's see. All right. So what's got anything in the Glen here tonight, Fritz? Are you a Tigers fan? Bourbon Dan. Speaking of Traverse City, Bourbon Dan, you try this? I just cracked it, and I think it's really good. Um, I know you're up that way. I'm guessing you would have had a good chance to grab one if you were in town. Let me know, Dan. Eagle Rare at the moment. All right. Have you tried the Eagle Rare 12 yet, Fritzy? I've not seen it anywhere here in Michigan. Not yet. Looks great. Yeah. I wonder if they still have this at the still house up there, Dan. It's definitely worth a pour if you're not quite sure it's something that might hit you in your wheelhouse. But I dig it. All right. Yeah, I feel like it's got a good proof to it, but it's not a very long finish. Like it does kind of dissipate a little quicker than I guess I would have preferred. But that might be the only knock I've got on it. There you go, Bourbon Dan. And it's good to hear from you. Thanks for checking in, man. All right. So, Fritzy, what am I in for with the Spirit Walker 5? How does that stack up to some of the other Spirit Walkers? Because they've kind of been kind of all over the place with the finishes. I want to say the only one I didn't get was the one that had the Amberana. I think I've got 1, 3, 4, and 5. So I think 2 was the one that I skipped. Picked up a Disco 13. So that one, I'm seeing a lot of positives and a lot of people that didn't care for it. So I'm curious to see where you might shake out. And you know what? I think the ones I think it was Jeff Wax review that I saw earlier today. I think he said he didn't care for the Hungarian oak too much. Um, the only other whiskey that I can think of that I've got or that I've tried that has a Hungarian oak finish is from Found North. Um, and I think it's fantastic. So I wonder if the Disco 13 might be something that I like because I mean I like that Hungarian finish on that, but that was high aged rye or corn whiskey, whereas Disco 13 is bourbon. I don't know how much different that might make it, but yeah, I'm curious to see where you shake out on it. Randall says Disco 13 is a try before you buy, in my opinion. That's kind of the impression that I'm getting, Randall, based on what I'm hearing. And I do like, I think the 12 from last year, I think is fantastic. But you get to the point where you have to question, is it worth the price tag? Because there's a lot of, let's face it, there's a lot of products on the shelves. I do like Bardstown. I think they put out some great stuff. But yeah, at that price point, 139 or 130 bucks or whatever it is, um, that's when you kind of got to think about before you just willy nilly pull it off the shelf and say, I'm sure I'm going to love it. Because if you grab a bottle, you pay that much and you don't love it, it's going to burn your ass a little bit, right? All right, Gary Franchot. I'm at home, just running late on the day. Good to see you, Gary, as always. All right, and we've got Randall, the whiskey shaman. Cheers, you jerks. Cheers to you, Randall. And guys, if you're not familiar with Randall, he does a podcast, so check him out. He's got some interesting content out there, and just a great dude in the community. So check him out, the Whiskey Shaman. He's on YouTube. He's on Instagram, Patreon. I don't know, Randall. What else are you on? Am I missing TikTok? But I think his bread and butter is the podcast. So check him out. Give him a listen. I think the Spirit Walker 5 is really good for a wine finish. Exodus 3, awesomeness. Yeah, the Exodus 3 I did really enjoy. That might be one of the 3 ryes I've had this year, I think. I think it is really good. The Exodus line in particular have been really, too much. It's the profile that I enjoy. I'm sure a lot of others out there as well, but it just seems to be the flavor profile that I really like. The Bourbon Pitmaster, what's going on? Good to see you in here. The local guy. So cheers to you. Thanks for stopping in. Cheers, losers. Wow, Marty, coming in hot. Check out my podcast with Cedar Ridge. I did see that. I didn't listen to it yet, but I did see that you put out the episode. So that definitely sounds interesting. I'm a big fan of Cedar Ridge, as I think a lot of us are, especially the last couple years with the single malt that they've started putting out. So yeah, go check him out. Disco 13 is good, but not the best from the series. Okay. But you got anything that you would compare it to? Pitmaster. Again, the only thing that I can think of with a Hungarian oak finish is it's Found North. I want to say it's like Found North 6 or 7. Danny Lopez. What's going on, dude? How are you? Isaac Fufu, what is going on? How are you, man? Thanks for stopping in. What's in the Glen? Big fan. So, Roger, you're a big fan of the Disco 13? Sure, buddy. Yep. Yeah. That's might be the only Tiger shirt I've actually got that still fits me. I think I got a Tiger shirt and a Tiger's cap. I don't have too much swag anymore, but I figured I had to bust it out for today. I'll be honest, I thought this was going to be their last game of the season based on how they hit yesterday. But hey, you know what? Baseball's a funny sport. Cedar Ridge and the Guardians. All right. There's Danny. Danny, what do you got in the Glen tonight? For those of you that can't see, my shot is kind of goofy. So I'm using the laptop and not the camera, but this is what I've got in the Glen. The Traverse City Peach Barrel, the Barrel Proof Peach is what they call it. Definitely like the flavors. Finish is a little lacking, but like I said, 109 proof. I mean, I've had some whiskeys that finish pretty big at 109 proof. Love the flavors, love the nose. The finish is a little, it's a little short, put it that way. Cheers, guys. Now I got to go get the oldest at dance at 9. All right. Yeah, I know you usually kind of start late here. All right. So let me ask you guys this. So now that we're in October, we're in the home stretch of the year. What are some of the big releases that you're looking for, as we round this year out? Things that you guys have been, kind of looking forward to, maybe something that was just announced. What are some things that you guys are interested in that are on your radar here for the last quarter here, 2025? Providence 7-year single barrel. Okay, so whose pick is that that you got? Westward is next, just got delivered. Westward is single malts. I've got a few of those, and the ones that I've got from Westward I've really enjoyed. I know there's Westland and Westward. I've not tried Westland, but the Westward single malts that I've had have been really good. The Provenance sounds interesting for sure. Fritz is in the house. Yes, he is. The Top Jimmy release. Gotcha. Some of my favorite bottles from this year have been Top Jimmy releases. So cheers to Top Jimmy. Cedar Ridge is coming to the Blitz now. Oh yeah, nice. If you guys like single malts, between Westward and Cedar Ridge, those have got to be probably the two best distilleries putting out single malts. I'm sure there's some others that are up there, but those are the two that kind of jump to the jump to the top of my list as I'm thinking about it. Let's see. I like to try the Stag 25A, but I'm not expecting too much from it. Still like Stag. You know what? I saw a video, it might have been on Instagram or something, a post where they just released it at Buffalo Trace, and there must have been like 9,000 people in line to get a Stag 25A or not 25A, whatever the latest drop was, but 25C. They look like they're like just an endless sea of people. And I can't imagine a worse way to spend a morning than standing in line outside of Buffalo Trace. I've done it once, and I, never again. Never opposed to a King of Kentucky. Is that is something that's on the down low, Gary? But I will settle for the JD single barrel pick I did back in May, finally making it up to Michigan. All right. What group is that with, Gary? It's right there. Might have been a Freudian slip there. There we go. Top Jimmy plugging the Blitz. All right, I'll leave that on the screen for a moment. Again, I think there was about 20 tickets left as of the last post I saw from any of the groups. And like I said, if you guys are on the fence about going to a whiskey event, that's the one, dude. I don't know how many of you guys have been to Kentucky Bourbon Fest. I have not. I watched a number of videos of people that did go. In particular, I watched some of Brandon Whiskey Weather's content that he just posted about the KBF. And I'll be honest, it's not something that I see myself going to. It looks like a lot of standing in line, and not just standing in line, but maybe picking which line you want to stand in, and then maybe you get the bottle you're hoping for. That doesn't sound like it's gonna be something that makes me happy. Back when I was way into craft beer, we went one year to the Great American Beer Fest in Denver, I believe is where it was. And the Kentucky Bourbon Fest kind of gives me that kind of vibe where there's just way too many people, way too many lines, not really doing too much else other than standing in line, which I hate. I'm about as impatient a dude as there is. Waiting in lines is not something that floats my boat. The Northside Liquors out of Holland, they recruited me to go on their pig team. Awesome. All right, that sounds cool. Exactly, Fritzy. Anybody go to Kentucky Bourbon Fest? I know maybe not this year or in the past. Is that about what the size of it is? Is it a bunch of standing around waiting in lines? That's the gist of it. It looked like maybe at one of the evenings there was some type of event. I don't know if that was baked into the tickets for the Kentucky Bourbon Fest or if that was like a special event. I really don't know, but yeah, too many people and hot as fuck. So yeah, got the Westward milestone number 3. Oh, is that the one in the fancy box? The one that I'm seeing here and there? Their big release of the year. Is that the one? I stand in line outside Top Jimmy's house to get into his collection, or maybe just to even meet Top Jimmy. I'd probably do that, but I'm not standing in line to maybe get a Maker's Mark cellar aged, or maybe get a what is it? An Old Fitz bottled in bond. Just doesn't float my boat. Bardstown Blitz is much more appealing in an option, in my opinion. And Gary, 100% agree. One, we're not waiting in any lines. There's not a zillion of us. I think last year, what was it, about 120, 150 people? Small enough that you basically got to meet everybody there. I think I met just about everybody at some point during that weekend that was in attendance. Much more my comfort level. I like the smaller setting. I like the fact that everything was kind of catered and put together for us, and we didn't have to pick and choose. Well, I want to go wait in line and maybe get a Maker's Mark, or maybe get a whatever the hot release was from Beam that they put out. I would much rather be in a smaller setting, chatting it up, meeting you guys, making connections, and shooting the shit rather than standing around. Let's see. Oh shoot, Josh, where do you live? I think Fritzy's up here by me, Roger, somewhere in Michigan. Maybe not by me per se, but I know he's a Michigan fella. I'll be at the Blitz 3 in a row. By the way, this is Lance. Yes, I know. Lance Powell. How you doing, buddy? I might have only met Lance for a moment last year, but I will look forward to having a pour with you, my friend. So you say 3 in a row. Are you counting the first one as was it the Sagamore event that they did a couple years ago? I think this is going to be just the second year down in Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Okay. All right, Fritzy, I'm going to get into this Evernorth. Spirit Walker 5, Sherry Finish Rye. And for those of you guys that are in the Patreon, this is going to be one of the monthly bottle giveaways. I haven't decided for which month yet, but I did buy 2 of these, keeping in mind that I'm trying to get some cool shit together for you guys for bottle giveaways. So I've got an extra one of these. Might be the October, might be the November, but it will be one of the bottle giveaways for Patreon. Reminds me, I got to do the September giveaways here. You got to do that this weekend. All right. So here we go. Fresh crack. All right. Not as much of a pop as I got from the Traverse City. Ooh, okay, that's wine. Now, I am a big fan of sherry finish, and I don't know if it's because, I kind of got into Scotch more than I did bourbon at the beginning. I'm going to try to leave this where you guys can see it, not necessarily block my face. All right, that'll work for now. I just love a sherry finished whiskey when it's done right. PX is really good. Ooh, yeah. I'm getting like that. I'm getting like the sherry, maybe like some cinnamon, maybe some cherry, maybe some graham cracker type vibes. Ooh, smells nice. The feeling it's going to be something that's right up my alley. Fritzy's in Northern Michigan. I'll more than likely be at Evernorth on November 1st for the release of Arctic Spirit and some others, I'm sure. I think Fritzy, between the Blitz in 2 weeks and then that Evernorth drop for the Arctic Spirit, those are probably the last two events that I'll probably attend in 2025. I mean, then it's a wrap, I guess, right? I mean, I don't know really anything that's going on after that, but those are two that have been on my calendar for a little while here. Hopefully they get. I know Brandon's doing one of those wise ones that sounded really good. In addition to the Arctic Spirit, so yeah, should be interesting. Should be fun. That was another fun time. I mean, it's still a small enough venue that there's not a zillion people. Uh, but I will say that the last drop that I went to, I think it was their anniversary earlier in the year, like March or February. There's a good amount of people in and out of that dirt road. Um, so I would expect that the crowd will be pretty good size on November 1st there, Fritzy. We've got Tommy D. Cheers. Just grab the Kavalan Soloist Sherry. Wonderful. So Kavalan is what the hell? That's not from Thai. What is that Taiwanese? What that's I know it's not Scotch. I know it's not Irish. What the hell is that again? I know it's like an outlier. Where's that from, Tommy? Kavalan. I don't know why I'm thinking Thailand. Taiwan. Okay. T. Okay. I was same, maybe not geographically close, but in terms of letters in the country, sort of close. Single malt. Yes. Tommy, are you going to head to Bardstown this year? I know you're way out Japan or something, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, see, there's something about the rye and the sherry together that just kind of hits my palate just right, and that does have a bit more of a finish on it than the Traverse City. February will be the second anniversary. Yeah, so it was the first anniversary earlier this year that there was a pretty good turnout for that. Not this year, just got to Japan. That's right. Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll miss you, Tommy. Tommy was one of the guys I met last year. Great dude, great guy in the community. And yeah, Tommy, a little bummed that you won't be there. Hopefully, we'll catch you at another one here in the not too distant future. And hope everything is going swimmingly in Japan for you, buddy. Tommy D. He lies. Nah. He's on the no-fly list. No, well, maybe he won't be at any of these events coming up then. Are you guys flying in, Randall, or are you guys driving? I think how far that is from where you are. I wouldn't think it'd be that far of a drive, would it? We are driving, and it's about a 6 to 7 hour drive, I think. Um, it's about 4 to 5 hours down I-75 to New Riff, where we'll stop, probably in Covington or Newport. Maybe get a bite to eat, check out New Riff, see if they got anything cool for sale. But it's just a cool place to check out, and then Party Source is right there. Maybe stop in there, take a breather, and then either head down to Lexington or head straight into Bardstown. I haven't decided yet. I guess it'll depend on what time we hit the road on Thursday, and the time I can get rally all the troops and get everybody together and out the door. We'll see. 5 for me. Yeah, you're in northern Ohio, so that cuts out a little bit of the drive. We still got to get about an hour down to where you're at. Are you going in Wednesday, Roger, or are you getting in Thursday too? All right. So my quick reaction to Spirit Walker 5, I really dig it. To me, my favorite of this series, if you're familiar with it, the third one I think was the Cobbler, which had all the crazy finishes, including like vanilla, raspberry, and some wild stuff, and that's just outstanding. I love that. Super unique, um, just really well done and delicious. That's my favorite of the series. Then I think it was their initial one that they released when they opened their doors. There was a Spirit Walker one, and I think that was a honey finished bourbon, which was actually really, really good. That was probably my second favorite. And then probably this one is going to be my third. The last one, Spirit Walker 4, I liked it. I didn't love it. I think that had some kind of wild finishes on it too. Trying to think of what they were. I forget offhand. Maybe cognac was one of them. I don't know. Good in my opinion, but just not one of my favorites. This is a little bit more my speed. Paul P, what's going on? Cheers, gang. Cheers to you, Paul. How are you doing? Are you heading down to Bardstown again this year? If so, I am looking forward to seeing you. Travis Robeson. How you doing, buddy? What are you up to, Travis? What's in the Glen tonight? Anything? If it works out, I'll be making from scratch cinnamon rolls like I had before. For November. Oh, nice. All right. Well, I like that, Fritzy. That's very generous of you. I know somebody brought some crazy cupcakes to the anniversary party in February. I remember eating two of them. I just don't remember what they were. I think I was talking to Mark Boyer, and he's like, "You got to try one of these cupcakes." And there was a couple of different ones. I think I ended up grabbing one of each. Wasn't a proud moment, but they were both very good. Oh yes, Travis and I are driving up early Thursday. Hell yeah. Yeah, I think you guys are coming up from. You're both in Tennessee, if I recall, right? That's awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing both of you guys again. All right. I have nothing yet, but we'll be pouring some Old Dom cask strength shortly. I did. Travis recently sent me like 9,000 samples. Super generous, and I remember opening the box and just pulling out, bundle after bundle after bundle, and wondering how many sample bottles could he possibly fit in one box. Super generous, and it seems, from my recollection, mostly stuff that's local to him, and I think 99% of it's stuff I hadn't tried. So many new things that I've got here to try, and I've gotten through a few of them, Travis. Um, but just super generous of you to send all of those samples. Hopefully, you like that bottle I sent you. I don't know if you cracked it yet. If let me know if you didn't like it, let me know because it's something that I get asked about from time to time. So let me give me your honest feedback on it, Travis, when you get around to it. Cheers, Tom already sucks. Well, it's okay. Cheers to you, Drift and Drams. Katie and Ethan, I look forward to seeing you guys again. Tom, have you had the 8-year-old Dom? Geez, you're putting me on the spot. I know Travis had sent me a few of them. I want to say one was the 7-year, if I'm not mistaken. I've got the 4-year, like the low proofer that I did enjoy I think for an 85 proofer. It's a banger. Um, a few of the other ones I tried, I want to say one had a high age statement. But maybe that might have been one of those Franklin ones. Cheers, drifting dram. Just waiting to crack it with Paul here in a few days. Excited to try for sure. The 8-year was not in that one. Okay, so there you go. there was something that I think had a 7-year age statement, but it might have been like one of my later pours in the evening, like maybe didn't pay as close attention to what it was as I might have if it was the first one. Kind of catch my drift. But yeah, just a zillion samples from Travis. So thank you again, buddy. I'm trying to figure out what to bring for the bottle shares this year. I've got my bag. I just don't have my bottles picked out. So I'm trying to think of what I should bring that I might have that, it isn't going to be something that you guys all have down in Kentucky or Tennessee or out east. Maybe some stuff that's local that you can't get. 'Cause I don't really get a lot of these unicorn bottles like, the B-Tax and shit like that. But, I can get Evernorth stuff. I can get New Holland, Walleye, all the stuff that's local to me, that's easy to get here. Probably bring some stuff like that. Maybe some picks from other groups. I don't know. But I'm still thinking of what I should bring. Dad. All right. So I think of the Peach Traverse City and the Spirit Walker 5. I probably like the Spirit Walker 5 a little bit better. Look for things most haven't had. If you get the Wise One 3, okay. Good call. Well, actually, that's not that comes out on the 1st, Travis, so it's 2 weeks after the event. I have a bottle of the Wise One number 1. I missed the second one. I got a sample. Wait a minute. Is he on 3 or 4? Because I think I got samples of maybe 2 and 3 from Mark Boyer. Is it 4 that he's dropping on the 1st? You gotta keep better track of these things. So you get old and you start to forget some of these things. Not fun. Yep. Yeah, the Wise One Batch 1 is fantastic. I think it was the second one that maybe had Amberana. If there was either I can't remember if there was a third one or if that's the one that's gonna. Okay, here we go. A month ago, raspberry. Okay, he's on number 4. Okay, so yeah, I think I've got a 2-ounce sample of the last one. I haven't tried it, but yeah, I'm gonna get down there and get a bottle of the next one at the release. Evernorth isn't exactly around the corner from me. It's about an hour and a half away. Sometimes I can get up there, sometimes I can't. It just depends on what we've got going on. But usually try to get up there about 2-3 times a year. All right, so I'm gonna get into this one next. This is gonna be the new Riff Red Turkey Wheat. Kind of glare on this label. It's got like this really shiny foil on it. A lot of good reviews that I've seen on this one. I know Hawk posted one. Brandon Whiskey Weather posted one. Seen a few others, and everything's been very positive on this. So I'm expecting that this will be good. And this is probably one that I would post a review on. Unless I really hate it, then I probably will pass. But no. Sorry, I opened it. Wow, that was the weakest cork pop. I know you guys didn't hear that because I barely heard it. And it's right in front of my face. Almost completely inaudible. Oh well. Let's pour it up. All right. Whiskey Nose says banger. So you've tried this one already, Marty? Sean sold mine. Gonna have to kick him in the shins. Bring you a blind. All right. So the color on this one, For 100, it is 100 proof, right? Yeah, it's just 100 proofer. Bottled in bond, so it's at least 4 years. Does it say it's any older than that? Age at least 5 years. 70% corn, 25 red turkey wheat, 5% malted barley. I know they did one of these a few years ago. I didn't get it, so this will be the first time I've had red turkey wheat new riff. Put this in the frame without blocking everything. It's not good. I don't know. How's that? Decent? Eh. Good enough. All right. Whew. All right. So on the nose, this one is like, this is buttery, like brown butter. Like maple, not maple, like vanilla frosting. Maybe some kind of citrus in there. Not overpowering. I mean, it's kind of subdued, but the notes are there. Ooh, that has a really nice mouthfeel. That is silky, like caramel sauce almost. Caramel and vanilla sauce, like melted down and almost kind of runny. Boy, that is tasty. Um, God, how else am I going to describe this? That's kind of the notes that I'm getting on that. There's no citrus on the palate for me, at least not on the first sip. Finish isn't overly long, but the best part has got to be the mouthfeel on that. That is nice and thick and just creamy. That's delicious. It doesn't remind me of any other new Riff product. Mm. I don't know that they do any other wheated bourbons that I can think of, but yeah, that's really good. That might be something they want to consider putting in their lineup. I don't know if red turkey wheat is super rare, or they can't get that much of it, or what the deal is, why it's a limited type of release as opposed to a part of their core lineup. Um, this is really good. Yeah, it ought to be something that they have around regularly. Danny says, "Gonna need a sample of that one, buddy." Yeah, you got it, Danny. I'll make sure I get this one in aged in ore for you. Yeah, this is something. There's been some really good wheated bourbons this year. Um, yeah, this is up there. I would like a little bit more proof, but for 100 proof bottled in bond, this is really good. Ooh. Yeah, it almost smacks of like a honey finish almost with that mouthfeel. It's very vanilla caramel sauce cream and kind of like a nice subtle sweetness at the back end. Lingers a little bit, but I wouldn't say it's got a very powerful finish. It's only 100 proof, but I dig that one quite a bit. All right, so Marty, you've got this one as well. This one was, I know it was a distillery release, but sometimes when New Riff does these distillery only releases, they'll put some of them that they'll hold back and they'll make them available online. And that's how I got my hands on this one. That's actually how I got the sherry finished rye of theirs last year as well, was when they put some of them online. And that one is probably my favorite New Riff product ever, was last year's sherry finished rye. So I've not seen anything about them doing it again this year. Have any of you guys? Did I just miss it? I think I'm on like their mailing list, so if they announce it and I missed it, it's on me. But that's one that I would definitely be looking for. If we're going to talk about bottles that may be coming out between now and the end of the year, if there's going to be another, new riff sherry finish rye, I need that. That'll be at the top of my list. But this is really good. This red turkey wheat, gobble gobble. It'd be my favorite one of the three so far, even though it's the lowest proof. Dig that. All right, and then this last one that I'm going to get into is going to be this Fiddler toasted wheat. I have no idea what to expect of this one. I mean, obviously, I've had plenty of wheated bourbons, but I don't know that I've ever had a wheated bourbon that was also toasted. If there's a common toasted wheated bourbon out there that I'm just not thinking of, it's escaping me at the moment, let me know. But that might be the only one I've heard of is this one here. Fiddler. So ASW is down in Atlanta. Not a distillery that I've tried much from. If I'm being honest, I think maybe just one or two different expressions. One was an Amberana finish. I think it was the first Amberana finished bourbon that I had, and this was probably about 3 years ago ish. I got that, tried it, and immediately was like, "Oh my god, this is like cinnamon toast crunch cereal." Love it. I had samples to my buddies, and they liked it. It was, wow, this is crazy. I never tasted anything like this before. And then everybody started putting out Amberana finished bourbons, whiskeys, ryes, whatever. And we kind of got to the point where we realized that anything that touched Amberana, it completely overcame anything and everything that you try to taste the rest of the night. If you try to use the same glass, it is something you had poured Amberana in, you were going to taste the Amberana the rest of the night. I think kind of we got over that, call it a fad trend, kind of quickly, because now it's not it's something that if I taste now, I don't like it. But the Fiddler, not this one, but they were the first one that did an Amberana that I tried. Never had a Fiddler. I have heard good things. Who's a big fan of ASW is Carlos. I think he works somehow with the brand. I don't know if they're like a sponsor or if he does some work for them or what, but I know he has some type of a relationship. So Carlos Whiskey Corner likes to plug them. I know it's a favorite of his. So yeah, I'm gonna give this a try and see if it's something that I can get into. Kind of on the heels of this new riff, it might be a tough act to follow. That new riff, that is really friggin' good. I'd like to have the JD Toasted Heritage stacked, a case or two deep. Got one bottle from Brandon. I really like it. Yeah, Fritzy, that was the last, I think, short that we posted about a month ago. Was on that bottle, and I just immediately loved it. It's everything that I was hoping that it was going to be. I mean, just right off the nose, I can tell, oh my god, this is all of the things that I want, I like, and it did not disappoint. I have not seen it since I picked that bottle up. I was hoping that it would be a lot more plentiful, but I think it's going to be one of those things like Old Fitz 7-year, where it came out and it was gone like immediately. Like people would go in and grab it. Stores would overcharge for it by a few bucks to the people that really had to have it quickly, right? So now you're kind of seeing those. At least I am. They're kind of all over now. Like they are actually hitting shelves. It is a shelf bottle. So I'll see like local stores posted. They just got like 4 cases of it in. So that is something that's routinely available now. I'm hoping that Jack Heritage hits that kind of status here in the next couple of months, because it is definitely something that I'll back up, maybe buy a couple of for sure. Fiddler Amberana was Ultra Cinnamon Toast Crunch because it uses wheated mash bill. Okay, sweet on top of sweet, way too much for me. Spirit Walker 2 with Amberana was the right amount. Yeah, I'm still going to say the right amount of Amberana is probably 0. I know, Travis, you're not a huge fan of the walleye run. I think that's what you told me. But the walleye run cigar batch has just a teeny bit of Amberana. Maybe that's the right amount if you're going to do it. It has to be such a small amount because it does tend to completely overpower just about everything else. The red turkey wheat is fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree. And let's see. Isn't ASW an NDP and not a distiller? The regular wheater is better than the toasted. Okay, Randall, I don't know. I'm not super familiar with the brand. I just know they're in Atlanta, I think. I'm not even sure what ASW stands for. All-Star Weekend? I have no idea. Atlanta something whiskey? I don't know. You tell me. So whether they're an NDP or a distiller, I really have no idea. I guess I can actually try to read the bottle. Stop the readers again. The font on this is really small. Let's see. Okay, here you go, Randall. Distilled in Indiana. So MGP, finished and bottled by ASW in Atlanta, Georgia. So don't know if maybe they're a little bit of both, but this particular bottle is sourced. So sourced, but finished in toasted barrels and then bottled down in Atlanta. So again, I still think, a lot of the favorite brands that I have are NDPs. So the fact that it's just MGP, it doesn't put me off. If it's good, it's good. If it's reasonably priced and available and good, then more power to you. All right, well, there's a cork pop. That the new riff was definitely lacking in the cork poppage. That was nice. I guess I could try to pour it into the glass instead of sniffing it out of the bottle like a goddamn savage, right? All right, here we go. Here you go, Danny. Amberana is strictly a closer when you feel the need to go through more of it. Yeah, because like I said, if you start out with Amberana, you're going to taste Amberana the rest of the night, and that's it. So if you're going to do it last. Whether you have is crushable for sure. Okay. Maureen Franchi, how are you? The better Franchi has arrived. Maureen, it's nice to see you. Missed you up in Traverse City, and we're hoping that we'll see you here in a couple of weeks. All right, so let's get into this. I will tell you that I did win this bottle, so you guys probably can relate to this. When you win a bottle or you're given a bottle, it always tastes just a little bit better than when you pay for it, right? So, cheers, Scott. Ooh, okay. Nose is definitely a little bit darker than the new riff. There's definitely some sweet notes. Maybe some of that honeyed graham cracker type vibe. Barrel char, oak. A little bit more aggressive on the nose than the new riff. And my guess is that's probably due to the much higher proof. This is, again, 121.6. So yeah, a bit of heat compared to the new riff. Ooh. All right. Perhaps we need an Amberana Ardbeg. Well, that would be something. I wonder how the Amberana would cancel out the peat smoke, or if it would. Maybe that's something that could be really good. I don't know. We'll try to blend it. I got a little bit of that bottle of Fiddler left. Maybe I'll blend it with some Ardbeg. What have I got? The Ugadale for shits and giggles one night and just kill that bottle. But Amberana and peat. Oh, has anybody done that? Sweet peat. There you go. All right, yeah. So this is dark. Is she dark? Yeah, there's almost like a creme brulee type vibe going on the palate. Definitely a bigger finish than I think anything else I've tried here tonight. Yeah, it's got some good heat, some good sweetness, but not too much. Barrel char, and then like kind of those I call them campfire type vibes that I tend to get sometimes from these toasted finishes. Like the barrel foundation was one that comes to mind. Um, the Jack Heritage, kind of like your marshmallows, your graham crackers, vanillas, but like just some good char. Maybe a hint of smoke. That's good. This is a nice toasted bourbon here, wheated bourbon. Yeah, I dig that. All right. Okay. Paul coming to the days. Counting the days. So 2 weeks. I can't believe it's already here. All right. So you guys can tell me any bottles that I should be hunting here the rest of the year. I know I'm going to be going to the Evernorth release, so I'll get an Arctic Spirit 2 whenever they happen to drop there. But up here in Michigan, I'm sure that most of you guys don't have access to BTAC. I've never even seen one on a shelf. So, all right, if I want a BTAC, I'll get a pour of it at one of the local bars. I won't chase the Maker's Mark Cellar Age this year. I haven't been a fan of the last two. I did like the Beam Booker's Reserve last year. I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't turn down a reserves batch 2. Thinking, or is that the one that's got tequila in it? Not in it, but tequila finish. Am I thinking of something else? It's also a pick, isn't it? You know what, Travis? Since I got it from Scott, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a Mash and Journey pick. It just doesn't say anywhere on any of the labels. Single barrel. Yeah, there's no M&J or anything like that on it anywhere. I know that Mash and Journey did some fiddler picks earlier in the year, but I didn't pick them up. The reserves is a tequila finish. So have you had that, Top Jimmy? It's kind of a tough act to follow because I thought the reserves batch 1 was really good. Like it stood out. Is Fadi close? The Ferrand Bardstown is very good if you like cognac. Are you talking about that store, Travis, that posts a lot? That think if that's what you're referring to, they're not really close to me, no, but I know who you're talking about. The Ferrand is very good if you like cognac. I'm expecting that if that's something that I want, they'll have that at Bardstown, and you just walk right in and pick it up off the shelf. The Penelope Omega is a phenomenal French oak finish bourbon. Okay. I have heard the Omega thrown out there, that name, but I haven't paid too much attention to what it is. 2025 Maker's Mark Cellar Age is supposed to be better than the previous 2 years based on several reviews. I would hope so. I've got 23, and I had a sample of 24. The 23 was a very disappointing bottle for me at the price. 24, I think, but when I tasted it, I don't know that I even liked it more than I liked the 23. And I like Maker's Mark. I'm a fan of the brand. I really enjoyed the new product that they put out this year, the Star Hill Farm. But yeah, I would pass on the Cellar Age. Maybe get a pour of it or a sample of it or something, but I'm not going to chase it for that price point. I don't think I'd buy it if I saw it in front of me. No, not my thing. I assume you're referring to the tequila finish. I am. You are chasing the maker's mark, Travis? Yeah. You know what? Here's what my cop out. Someone will probably have it at the event. I'll taste it. Um, I'll scratch that FOMO itch, but again, having got one of those, and I was super excited to, when I got that batch one. Um, but yeah, I don't like it. It's okay. I've got 3 or 4 other Maker's Mark bottles that I think are better than it by a good margin. Mm. Yeah, this feather's surprisingly good. Yeah, 4 pretty good bottles here this evening. Nothing that I would call disappointing. The peach was a nice opener. A little lacking in the finish, but a great flavor profile. Pretty orange label in the wax. The Evernorth, again, the sherry finish rye. Always enjoy their stuff. I love sherry finish stuff. So no surprise that I like that. The new riff was probably the one that I liked the most out of the bunch. And I thought it would be good. I didn't know that it would be great. Um, and then this fiddler, I enjoy quite a bit. Enjoying it right now. Let's see. I'll have it at the event. Randall Erickson. All right. Well, Randall, you know what? I'll sit down and I'll have a pour with you, buddy. No, the store. Oh. Yeah. Okay. So you were referring to that store. So he posts on social media quite a bit. As far as what's coming out, actually curious on the 21-year Knob Creek and the 11-year Hardens Creek from the top floor. It's the one with the owl. Okay. I did have a pour of the high aged Hardens Creek. I think I can't remember the age because they had it in months and not years. But the high aged one, I had a pour of at a bar. And I thought it was really good, like really, really good. But again, not something that I saw anywhere on the shelves down here. Tom, is that Traverse City Peach going in the bag for the Blitz? I think that would probably be a pretty good one that I could bring down there, Gary, because I think it's something that people who want to try probably haven't seen. It's not very common. I don't think it was more than a couple of barrels. So yeah, did you? I take it you didn't grab one when we were up there, eh? 211 month. Yes, that was the one. I knew it was a high number, and it didn't make any sense because I didn't feel like mathing when I ordered it. But yeah, the high age statement on 211 months. What does that work out to, like 10 years? No, a lot more than 10 years. It's like 18 years. See, this is the problem. Just tell me the freaking years. Months. I don't know. All right. So, it does sound like a lot of you guys are heading down there. Probably starting to get excited as I am. Yeah, this is gonna be crazy. I probably since we got home from the last one, I've been thinking about going back down and doing it all again, running it back. So nope, it dropped the day after the pick, and I was already gone. Yeah, see, we stayed the night that night, Gary, and I stopped on the way out because they opened up their event early, like around 10 or 11. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna swing in there, get a bottle, head home, and that's what we did. So yeah, 211. Just tell me the age in month or in years. All right, guys. Well, I wanted to get through all of these fresh cracks here tonight. I think I did. Just finishing up this fiddler. Still trying to think on what else I should bring, but yeah, Gary, maybe I'll throw this Traverse City in the bag. I have maybe one that I've got it in mind that'll be a little bit of a surprise. Take me long to decide what bottles to pack and pack. Paul, you and me both. I can pack for a trip in 10 minutes, but it'll take me days to figure out which, handful of bottles to bring, and I'll change my mind 6 times. But as far as packing, yeah, I pack in 5 minutes. 17.5 years. Thank you for the conversion, Josh. See, would that be so much harder to put than 211 months? What are we doing? True on that. Yeah. See, I feel like you know, guys, we just throw shit in a backpack. As far as clothes go, we're fine. But as far as which 4 or 6 bottles do I want to bring to this share? That's a tough call. That's something I really got to think about. Mandalism packing in clothes. All right, I hope that's not the case. I hope that's not the case. And Marty, I hope you're planning on packing plenty of clothes too. All right, guys. I think I'm going to wrap this up here. I don't know who else is streaming tonight, but I think I'm going to head upstairs, chill out with a pour, and call it a night here in a little bit. So, appreciate you guys coming by, hanging out with me. Flying solo again tonight. No cool giveaways, no fun shit. Just me talking to my laptop. But it's definitely cool seeing all you guys here. And I know the vast majority of you guys that showed up here tonight in the chat, I'm going to see in a couple of weeks. And I can't wait to shake your hands, have a pour with you, shoot the shit a little bit, and catch up. That's really what this is all about. So until then, try to put out some videos. Hopefully, we got a few that just have to be edited, but we've got things that we're kind of juggling at the moment. But till Bardstown, cheers. Thanks for watching. Stay jerky.